Saturday, everyone. This is Tasia from Chiron Divine Readings, and this weekend I decided to do a angel message pick a card reading. And I'm going to use a different spread than I normally would for this type of reading, so I'm really excited for you guys to see, what messages come out. And I will also pull some additional cards from my angel answer deck over here. And with that, I will pull some cards to get some, additional messages, as well as give you an opportunity to ask a yes or no question. And then we'll see what the angel cards have to say in response to your question. And so you can start to think about what that question is now, or you can wait until you see what messages come out of the reading and then decide what that question is. But I just at least wanted to put it on your radar that will be happening in this reading, okay? So with that said, let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Inhale. All right, now exhale. And now select the pile that seems to be speaking to you the most. Is it pile number 1 over here? Pile number 2 right there? Or is it pile number 3 over here? And then check down in the description box for the timestamp for your reading. And I'll see you over there, okay? Okay, welcome in pile number 1. This is your message. So for this reading, as I mentioned earlier, I'm using a slightly different spread. And so over here we have the card that represents your current strength. This middle card represents what your heart wants you to know. And then this last card over here represents what your current challenge is. And so we'll go through each of them and then pull some of the other cards, okay? So your current strength. Cut the cords. Okay, so what I'm getting is that right now you seem to be in a really good place in terms of just letting go of the things that aren't serving you, letting go of people that just aren't contributing to your life. And that's really big. Like, there are a lot of people who really struggle with that, and so that's definitely something that you should be proud of, just having that ability to let go and knowing when to let go is what I'm hearing for you. So what your heart wants you to know: vulnerability and freedom. So with cutting these cords, it may, like, your reasons for doing so may be good, right? Because you don't want to have things weighing on you. You don't want to have people sort of dragging you down, and, totally understandable, right? But what I'm feeling is that, when you respond in such a cold, and cutting way, like, that really can be a signal of, just not feeling comfortable being vulnerable. And what your heart wants you to understand is, yes, you can cut these cords and let go of these people, but you can also feel something when you do so. It's not like you can just, you have to just cut them and then forget about them and they never existed, or, this situation, never existed. That's not the case. You can still have feelings and emotions connected to them, and honor those. But the difference is not dwelling on them, not staying in that place. And so while it's healthy to, be able to let go of these things, it's also equally as healthy to, sort of feel your emotions and go through that experience. I think about someone who maybe doesn't like getting angry, and so instead of showing their anger, they just try to automatically just dismiss it, oh no, I'm not angry. And it's you can't really do that, right? At the end of the day, that anger is going to come out in other ways. And so, you still need to feel that anger to get it out of you, but then let go of the thing that caused the anger. That's the difference. And so what I'm feeling for you is that vulnerability to just feel whatever emotions that maybe came up as it related to whatever the situation or the person was. that will be healthy. And if anything, that will allow for the cutting of that cord to happen in a much more conducive way. Like, you'll just feel a lot freer, because not only are you letting go of that person or that situation, but you're also allowing yourself to cut the emotional ties related to it. Okay? All right. And then your challenge is compassion. Okay. So I feel like this is all connected, right? It's like having compassion for yourself, and not feeling guilty for having emotions or for feeling a particular way about whatever it is that you chose to release. And so, for example, if you were in like a bad relationship, right, and you recognize that, and you decided to let go of that relationship, but then you find yourself sort of like missing the person, but then you feel guilty for missing them, or you get angry with yourself for missing them. And it's like, you have to have compassion for yourself. It's like, it's okay that you had this connection, this emotional connection. The importance is that you chose to let go of it and not stay in it and try to like work things out when you knew deep down that it wasn't going to. But it's like, you can't beat yourself up for putting yourself in that situation. And so the more compassion you can hold for yourself, the better like these other pieces will be able to come about, essentially. So give yourself more compassion. Okay? All right, so let's see. What do our angel answer cards have to say about this situation? All right, so we have look for a sign, if you believe, abundance, and one more underneath, compromise. Okay, so if you have any questions or concerns about whether or not you are making the right decision, or whether or not you've made the right decision as it relates to the situation or the person that may be involved in this reading, however it resonates for you, Spirit will let you know. Like, I feel like if it relates to a person, like something is going to happen and you're going to be like, see, I knew that, that's what was happening, or I knew I needed to let that go. And so you can anticipate some kind of sign with, if you believe, I'm feeling like just believing in yourself, believing in your decisions, believing that you know what you're doing as it relates to, having the right people in your life. And then with compromise and abundance, just feeling like there is more to come, and, it's going to involve a little bit of give and take as it relates to like your healing process, and understanding that, healing is not linear. Like, it's not like you just keep going in one direction. Healing sort of goes back and forth. And so that's part of the compromise. But in doing that work, you are inviting more abundance, more joy, and more happiness into your life. So keep doing the work, and particularly work on the compassion. Okay. All right. So now I want you to think of your question that you would like to ask the angels. Some kind of yes or no question. And I'm going to pull this card. It seems to be speaking to me. So the answer to your question is don't stop. All right. So however that resonates, don't stop. All right. And so that is your reading pile number 1. Now we will transition over to pile number 2. Okay. So pile number 2, this is your reading. So for this reading, I'm doing a slightly different spread, as I mentioned previously. And so each card represents something different. So for example, this first one represents your current strength. And so the things that are serving you, that are working out in your favor. This middle card represents what your heart wants you to know. And then over here represents your current challenge. And for you, when I was shuffling, 2 cards jumped out. So we will see how all of these cards are interconnected. But first, we will go through each one. So your current strength is inner child healing. All right, so pile number 2, you have done some really good healing, and that is excellent. Like, I feel like, some of us may be, really good at this, and some of us may be trying to avoid doing any kind of inner child healing, right? And so for you, pile number 2, like, this is something that you either have done or are continuing to do, and it's helping you in the long run. So definitely keep up the work in that regard, okay? What your heart wants you to know is there are blessings and abundance coming your way. Simple as that. It's like, because of the work that you're doing, you're able to release certain energy, vibrations, like whatever was maybe holding you back before. Like, because of this inner child healing that you're doing, your heart is able to open up to receive blessings and abundance. It's able to receive things like love and new opportunities, and having the right people show up at the right time. And so, again, definitely keep up the good work there, okay? All right, so your challenge over here, however, and as I mentioned, you have 2 cards. So we have friendship and union. Raise your vibration. Okay, so in terms of your challenge, what I'm feeling is that perhaps some of the inner child healing that still needs to take place is related to like a friendship, right? Some kind of union. And my feeling is that it is a relationship from your childhood. So this could be with like a best friend when you were younger, or even like someone who you had like more like romantic feelings for when you were younger. But either way, like, there's some healing that needs to take place because it's impacting your vibration. It's impacting like your ability to really receive, right? And so like, it's interesting for me, like looking at the cards. So like here you see like the energy that he's sort of holding in front of his heart. It's like, so your heart like energetically is doing well, but it's like now you got to carry that energy upward and like radiate, right? And so while you may be doing well internally, now the next step is to do some of the external work. And so that may require mending some relationships. And for some of you, I'm feeling like, oh no, I definitely don't want to do that. But really you need to, because that's a significant part of your growth. And it's like, what's the point of doing, all of this inner child healing if you're not going to really demonstrate that, if you're not going to put yourself out there in the world? And the best way to do so is to focus on mending the relationships, those relationships from your childhood that had a significant impact or that continue to have an impact, so that you're able to move on. And it doesn't mean that you have to be friends with them again. It doesn't mean that you'll go back to whatever kind of relationship you once had. What it does mean is that you're no longer carrying that energy with you, and you're able to raise your vibration as a result of that. Okay, so that's very beautiful. I love that. All right, so let's see what additional messages our angels have for us as it relates to this situation. Very, very interesting reading so far, I will say. All right, one more. Here we go. Listen to your intuition. Recovery. See? Success. If you believe, and I'm feeling called to pull one more. Forgiveness. All right, I feel like I can't make this up, right? Like, what was I just saying about mending relationships and the fact that we have recovery and forgiveness that came out? And so, to me, that's just the indicator that what I said about mending the relationship from your childhood, connected to a friend, like I'm definitely feeling someone who was like a peer. So it could even be a sibling. but there is some recovery and some forgiveness that is on the horizon. And so that's something that you can look forward to. But the other pieces are to listen to your intuition, like really trust that your intuition will guide you to approach the situation in the most appropriate way, will guide you in giving you the type of message that will help the situation. And just believe in your ability to be able to do this. Like, if it's been a long time since you've talked to this person and you're sort of psyching yourself out of, being able to mend this relationship, then guess what? That's what you're going to get, right? And so you really have to believe in your ability to mend this, believe in your ability to be able to move forward from this, and any negative thoughts that you may have about the situation is only going to keep you stuck. It's not going to help you raise your vibration, right? And it's like doing this work, there is success at the end, right? There is something glorious that you can look forward to as a result of this healing process. But, you got to do the work, and you have to be, willing to do it, and just believe in yourself and your ability to do it. Okay. All right. So now I will give you a couple of seconds to think of the question that you want to ask. A yes or no question would be preferred. And while you're thinking of your question, I'm going to see which card is speaking to me. And for some reason, this card over here at the end is speaking to me. So the answer to your question is, there's something better. So however that resonates, there's something better. Okay, pile number 2. All right, so now we will transition over to pile number 3. All right. Welcome in pile number 3. This is your reading. So, as I mentioned earlier, I'm doing a slightly different spread. And so each of these cards represents different things. For example, this first card represents your strength, the thing that is currently serving you, working out in your favor. This middle card represents your heart and what your heart wants you to know right now. And then this last card represents whatever challenge you may be experiencing at this time. Okay. And then I will pull some additional cards, once we see what comes out of here. All right. So this first card, angelic protection. All right. So you are being protected by your guardian angels. Like, that is awesome. And I'm also feeling like, some of your angels are ancestral. And so, for some of you, you may be sort of feeling the energy of certain loved ones. Like, I'm getting like grandparents, perhaps, but you certainly have like an angel who is next to you, like by your side, is what I'm hearing. And so that is awesome. And so just know that, right? Just if there was ever any question, you do have angelic protection around you. Okay. All right. Your heart. Mother, Father, God. So what your heart wants you to know is that there's an opportunity for you to really strengthen your connection with the divine, strengthen your connection with God, with the universe, or whomever you believe in. And right now it's like I feel like you're not tapping in as much as you can, or as much as you should be. And that really is a missed opportunity, because Spirit wants to serve you. Spirit wants to be able to help you. But they can't do so without your permission, right? I don't know if you're familiar with like Kyle Gray, whose deck that I'm using for the angel guidance cards. And one of the things that he talks about is that you have to give your angels permission to intervene. You have to give your angels permission to help work things out in your favor. And so understanding that while you have their protection, they're doing so because they don't want anything to happen to you, right? The only time they really step in is, in the most extreme situations. However, they can be of assistance more than that. You just have to ask. And so, you can do so through prayer, through meditation, through journaling, like whatever works for you. But there's certainly a missed opportunity here for you to connect more with spirit and with the divine. So definitely something for you to, look into. And then your challenge is spiritual growth, of course. And, seeing like the praying hands, it's like, not doing enough to contribute to your spiritual growth. And so while you may be spiritual, if you find yourself sort of doing the same things over and over again, or doing things sort of haphazardly, like if one of your spiritual practices is meditating, but you just sort of like don't prioritize it, or you don't really take it seriously, like, that's something that could stunt your spiritual growth, right? Or if you're someone who, prays, but you only pray when you really need something. And so it's sort of like, I pray, but, it's, only out of convenience. Like, that's another thing that could maybe hinder your spiritual growth. And so just understanding that there is more available to you if you simply ask. And so even if you don't necessarily have a favor to ask, right? Using prayer as an example, you can just pray that others are well. Pray that, your loved ones are safe. Pray for more love in the world, like, however that resonates for you, because it's not like it's you asking something for yourself. You're not asking for a favor. You're, asking for things to be shared with the collective. And that's, equally as important. So definitely feeling like there's a need to just connect a little bit more spiritually, because your angels want to, show up for you. They want to be more of a presence in your life, but they can't do so unless you invite them to. Okay. All right. So let's see what additional messages we have. Okay. Success. All right. I like that. One more. All right. Be assertive. Okay. Ask your angels. Didn't I just say that? Like, literally cannot make this up. Opportunity and trust. Yes. Okay. I love all of these. So, success. So whatever you may be trying to like work out right now in your life, understand that, you have the power to succeed. You have the power to get to exactly where you want to be, and Spirit wants to help you in that process. And so, you just have to be willing to ask, being assertive. And with that, I'm feeling like, don't be afraid to ask for what you really want. Right? And so let's say if you really want a certain kind of job, right? Ask your angels, your guides, your loved ones to help you with obtaining that job. And the one thing that I always add as like in addition to that, so like I'll ask for what I want, but I'll also add this or something better, because sometimes something better is available to you. And sometimes when things don't work out, it's because this other better thing is on its way. And so, be assertive in terms of asking for what you want/need, but also don't limit yourself in that regard. Okay. Ask your angels. I feel like that's basically what I've been talking about this whole reading, so no need to explain there. And then with opportunity and trust, just feeling like there are some really magical opportunities trying to make their way towards you. Like, look at this card. Like, it's just opportunity, like blessings, just like sprinkling down on her, and just understanding that there is true opportunity for you. But you have to trust in yourself, trust in your angels to make things happen, like trust that the divine wants to help you, and that you don't deserve to suffer, or that you don't have to like work yourself to the bone to get what you want. Like that's not how it works. And so just like trusting that you're deserving of whatever it is that you are trying to make happen, whatever success you're trying to bring about. You're deserving of it, one. And two, trust in the divine's power to make things happen. All right. So with that said, I want you to think of your question that you want to ask, and I would recommend a yes or no type of question. And while you do so, I'm going to see which card is sort of calling me. This one over here. All right, and the answer is unlikely. All right, so however that resonates for you, the answer to your question is unlikely, okay? All right, so that is your reading, pile number 3. All right, so that wraps up this weekend's Pick a Card Angel Messages reading. I hope that one of these beautiful readings resonated with you. And if so, please be sure to like this video as well as share it with someone that you think would benefit from hearing it, okay? All right, so with that said, enjoy the rest of your weekend and thanks for watching. See ya.